can't use the same. You can't use the same voice as somebody else is using on a podcast. It's not. It doesn't work. You'll get sued. Someone will sue your ass.
Someone's going to sue you.
You'll be sued.
Someone's going to sue me.
All right, let's do a shoe.
Let's do a shoe.
Let's do a shoe.
It's time for the shoe. Lovely. What's in your nose?
Bookers. Why?
Just looked like you had something hanging out of your nose, but it was just a gray hair.
Yeah, it's probably old man hair.
Yeah.
All right.
Welcome to this epic disaster.
I thought I was going to introduce it.
I started it instead.
All right. Well, you can do it at this time. You never get to do it. I always do it. I always do it.
You always do it. I
always
never
do
get
the
to
show.
do
Do the show.
it.
Hi, folks. Welcome to this epic disaster. I don't know what we're doing here. We're just
I don't either.
We've had alcohol and muffins.
Yep. Your wife has a very moist muffin.
So we were downstairs. What did we do? You were down there. We were watching Queen
Videos.
We were eating muffins. We were drinking alcohol.
I only had one alcohol.
This is the kind of
You had
pre-show warm-ups we do.
You had two alcohols.
No, I didn't. I only had one.
You only had one.
I only had one, but I'm going to have another. You know why?
Because it's live beer review time.
Because it's a live beer review. We need to have our own little soundtrack, little introduction thing, musical.
Da 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 da.
Here's
it's
the thing.
Time for the live beer
So we put
review.
a call out for someone to do a kind of a database of everything that we've done.
Yes.
And Jax did that.
Yes.
It appeared last week. Now let's put a call out. Someone needs to write a live beer review song for
We
us.
need a live beer review
That's
song.
a little more of a commitment. I don't know if I can expect anyone
We
to do
need actual songwriters to do it, though. Not
you're
me.
Pouring
Clearly,
your beer.
not me.
I haven't. You going to tell people what we're doing?
I am. So it's pretty. I'll tell you that right now.
Smells.
I've had
kinda
this several times.
Really?
Because you never asked me if I'd had this before or not.
Well, I don't ask you if you've had any of the beers. I haven't had this one.
I have had this.
I just want to point out too. You never ask me when you pick a beer. You never ask me if I've had that.
Because I know damn well you haven't.
Wow, what a weird sound there.
That was the fire truck. But today we're having Sour Monkey, which is by Victory Brewing. And I've had it several times. I do like it. It's a sour triple. It's 9.5% alcohol.
And the monkey on the cover is covering his eyes, and he has a green tongue.
Yes, because he's sour.
He's sour. It looks like he's got 4 arms.
He does.
One is like, is that supposed to be covering his ear? And two are covering his eyes. And
But he's peeking out of one of them.
Okay.
And then the other one's just kind of there.
All right. I don't know what it all means.
You don't have to. Don't read too much into it. It's a beer can.
Okay.
All right. So it is a lovely color.
Kind of a gold. Very golden.
Very golden.
Golden monkey.
And it smells fruity.
It does a bit.
It does. It does.
Okay. Should we suck it down? There you go. You've already doing it. There you go.
Get you right here.
Oh, yeah?
Get you right here in the jaw.
That's something you might like.
Oh, it's sour. It's sour. I like it.
It is pretty sour.
Can't you feel that right in the back of your jaw?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you read the back of it there?
Let's see. It says tastefully tart mystical flavors.
A tasting. I got a little honey taste in there.
It says fruity notes from imported Belgian yeast swirl through a precise souring. Pucker up to a bite of citrus-laden tang, ending with a delectable experience.
Okay.
The malt is Pilsner, the hops are Tettnang, and it's been approved by brewmasters Bill and Ron.
I saw a documentary this past week about these guys that they were like beer experts. And
There's a name for that.
What, the beer experts?
Yeah, it's like a
Cisnero or something. I don't know.
The one for wine is a sommelier.
Anyway, they were going to this big, it's not a school, but whatever it is, in Chicago, where they have to pass tests. And then if they pass the test, they are whatever this thing is.
Right. So, yeah, because you have to know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And this one guy was amazing. I think he finished first in his class. So they would give him, there would be like 12 beers in front, and he would drink them all. And he was one of the few that could actually tell you what brand, what company it was. So he knew beers that well.
Now,
most people would get close. They'd be like, "Oh, that's a Belgian white or whatever."
Sure.
And so that was probably most. He could tell. He could get down to the manufacturer by the brewer. He knew. He was so.
He
good.
had an extremely sensitive palate.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, normal people don't have palates like that.
No, I think I could do it if I wanted to. I think I could get into it and I could learn it and I could do it. But it is just not something I'm really that interested in doing. But I mean, I think I have the taster to do it.
I don't think you do.
My wife says I do.
I don't think you do.
I do.
I'll tell you why you don't. Because on this very podcast, you have done things with your sniffer and your taster where you say something smells like fish.
Okay.
Beer doesn't have fish in it.
That's the thing. People like me are on a totally different level. People like you can't detect the fish, but it's there. If I say something is fishy or smells like popcorn or whatever, and you're like, well, you're crazy. Well, so that's why you're not one of those people in Chicago. I could be, because I know, and I guarantee you that could happen. I don't care. I'm not going to do it, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's just move on.
Yeah.
It's like your psychic ability almost.
My psychic ability is sharp. My psychic ability is excellent. My psychic ability tells me today, you will drop a blue stone. No matter how hard you try not to, you will drop a blue stone today, my psychic ability.
And what he means by dropping a stone is that we're going to play our Would You Rather game,
Yes.
and we just drop stones of different colors, and the colors go with categories,
And
and
it'll
then
tell you what
they
category I'm going to read.
ask us questions.
And you're going to drop a blue one.
It's green.
Well, I mean, green is blue and yellow, so
Not the same.
it is the same. All
not the
right,
same.
here we go. Blue
Yes.
is, see, you even thought it was blue and it was green.
You're right,
See,
it's green.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
You could be a shyster at a carnival.
It's the power of suggestion. All right, we're talking about ethics and intellect. Would you rather
Is that green?
Yes.
Okay.
Spend a year. Would you rather spend a year in jail because of a series of small offenses, or spend 3 years for committing an exciting, grandiose crime such as stealing? Is that exciting and grandiose?
Depends on how much.
Oh, it's stealing a rare diamond, which brings you notoriety and admiration both inside and outside of the prison system.
And the first one was...
You get a year in jail because of just a series of small offenses, or 3 years for the latter.
I'll go with the 3.
Me too.
Totally.
Because 3 years and then you get out and you're famous. You got a career.
Yeah.
Everybody, you're going to be on every show.
Yeah.
You're going to maybe get into the movies and stuff. Yeah, 3 years. It's a commitment. You're going to be.
You
Although
can do
if
it.
you have a lot of notoriety and you're in prison, then someone it might want to kill you.
Well, that's
'Cause
not
then they
good.
become notable because they're the
Because
ones
they
that
killed you.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's no fun, though. So it's your turn. So, yes, again, I would go with the 3 years.
I'm feeling red on mine. Well, maybe it's because we just left the red one behind, but I do. I feel like red will be the one I drop. I don't know why. It's burning in my hand.
Why?
It's burning in my
Is
hand.
it burning? Is it red hot? Red hot? It's yellow.
Well, red and blue make yellow, so
Stop.
it was that. All right. there you go.
Yellow stands for random. So your random would you rather
Random.
question is, would you rather be often told that you look old for your age,
It's too late.
or
Is that your daddy?
this is funny because the other option
Uh-huh.
is often be told that you are immature.
Well, both are the same.
I
I get both of those.
Get both.
But if I had to choose between one of the two, I'd just take the second one.
Yeah,
I'd
absolutely.
I don't want to say that I'm old, but I
I
get
would
that
much
in it.
rather be told I'm immature than told I look old for
Yeah,
my age.
I get that. I get old.
Only one person has ever asked you if you were my father.
That isn't true. I think a couple have. A couple people have done that, but yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Hey, speaking of documentaries, I want to talk about a couple of documentaries I saw this weekend, because in one in particular,
We weren't speaking about documentaries.
we were.
but
I
okay.
talked about the documentary of the guys going to the beer school. Remember the beer thing?
I forgot about that already.
Well, that's because you're old. I
I look
saw a
young
couple
for
of really
my
good
age.
documentaries. One, and one is a kind of infuriating. and it is a documentary about the amazing Jonathan. Do you know who the amazing Jonathan is? Actually, I saw that they're screening that. Where's the place here in town? Is it that shows Rocky Horror?
The Plaza?
Okay. They're screening this documentary at the Plaza, which I thought was kind of interesting. But anyway, you could see it for free on, I think it's Netflix.
The Amazing Jonathan is a magician.
Yes.
Yes.
Magician / comedian.
Yes.
Who had a very, very, very huge career in the 80s and
Yes.
became a gazillionaire, and in the 90s as well. And then sometime recently, he was diagnosed with a heart condition and was given, it was in 2014, and he was given, I think, a year to live.
My gosh.
He's still alive, and it's 2019.
Yeah, so that's 5 years later.
Yeah, and so there was a documentary about him and about his life, and it is it's weird, it's infuriating.
Why is it infuriating?
I don't want
How?
I can't really explain it without spoiling it for people who might want to watch it, so I don't want to do that.
You can't give any additional details.
Just a lot of things happen that kind of make him look like an asshole.
Was he an asshole? Is he an asshole?
I think most people in show business probably are assholes. I'm an asshole.
Yeah, that's true.
I think most people in show business, and I'm barely in show business. I'm
Right.
barely an asshole. That's the way I look at it.
Oh, okay. It's not
but-
true, but all right.
But some things happen, and just some weirdness, and I don't want to go into it. But I will say, and I don't think this gives it away really much, but he was a little bit like Andy Kaufman, where you couldn't find the line of what was real and what was not real.
Correct.
And so one of the guys who's doing a documentary starts questioning whether any of this is real, if he's really sick, and if this is just a joke. And that's all I'm going to say. He starts questioning, and then whether it is or not, I'll let you watch the documentary and find out for yourself.
So does it remind you of an REM song?
No.
Okay.
It's just totally different.
Okay.
Because that one was about Andy
That
Kaufman.
one was about Andy Kaufman.
And, I think by now, I think it's pretty much established that Andy Kaufman is dead, but I, for a long time, believed he wasn't.
Same.
Yeah, so who knows? And he still could not be.
It's possible.
Because it was kind of weird. And, the best way to make something like that work is just keep doing it for a long time.
Right.
Because somebody would think, yeah, within 5 years, he's going to let everybody know. But then you go on for 30 years and all of a sudden come back. Then that's a great joke.
That would be amazing.
The other documentary I want to recommend, and I can't remember the exact name of it, but it's called Freeway.
You just said you couldn't remember the name of it.
Because I'm not sure if that's exactly the name. Freeway. And it's about crack in America.
Crack cocaine.
When I just say that, you just, you kind of go, okay, that'd be an interesting doc. It might be the best documentary I've ever seen.
Truly.
I watched it, and then I got halfway through, and I was like, holy crap, I have to wait. My wife is going to want to watch this. It's so good. And so she watched it, and she said the same thing. It's one of the best documentary. It's in documentary filmmaking, I think it is almost flawless.
Okay. Can you tell us what kind of a document? Like, how do they look? How do they address it? Do they talk to people who have actually been on crack or are actually on crack?
Freeway is the nickname for Rick Ross. Freeway Rick Ross. And when I say Rick Ross, I'm not talking about the rapper.
Okay.
Although the rapper, his presence is in the movie. The rapper stole the name Rick Ross from Freeway Rick Ross. Freeway Rick Ross was
Say that 5 times
the
fast.
person who introduced crack, basically, into America.
Oh.
And it is his story and how he did it. He went to prison for many, many years. He's out now.
Okay.
And it is a kind of a retrospective, him looking back on what they did, how they did it. I think, for me, I just looked at it. I actually watched the documentary because I thought it would be something I could play in the background while I
Sure.
was working.
Sure.
No, you can't. It's so interesting. And then it takes a turn, and you start seeing, and I know this sounds so conspiratorial, but it's not, how the government was involved in bringing crack to America.
I don't have a hard time believing that.
Basically, I mean, these are the guys who worked with these people who were doing it, and they
Right.
were just basically telling, and they told the story of how it worked, and it's just interesting to see it all happen. But the government in the 80s was selling crack to inner cities in order to fund the war against the Contras in Nicaragua during the Reagan era. You remember all that with Oliver North and all that kind of stuff. And that's what they were doing. That's how they got that whole war funded, was by selling crack. And there's actually a point in there where the CIA actually admits that that is true. So it's not like something someone made up or it's a conspiracy or anything. It's actually, they actually admit it. But how it happened and the behind the scenes, it's amazing. And two, the documentary it focuses on Rick Ross. And this is a guy who he brought drugs to America, and what that did to neighborhoods and everything. Just, I mean, it's despicable.
It is.
But they turned him, in the end, he's a character that you just absolutely love. You really like him. You start rooting for him. And I thought that was a very interesting thing in the documentary on how you can take a personality like that and make them very likable. And I think part of it he has done himself. Now, he has completely reformed his life. But and people ask him, he goes and he speaks to kids in schools now and just talks about, not going down the wrong path. And a lot of people ask him, how do you feel about doing this? And, he talks about how he's had to come to terms with it. But it is good. It is I have to think in maybe of all the documentaries, and I love documentaries.
Yes, you do.
I'm going to put it in the top 5 easily of documentaries I've ever seen.
Okay. Well, then that's a very good review from my point of view. So I will definitely watch that.
Do so.
Perhaps I will watch that this afternoon before I go out tonight.
You should.
Because I'm going out tonight.
Are you?
To a club.
Holy crap.
Right?
You going to do some crack?
No.
You going to see some crack?
Probably.
All right.
But it's not that kind of club.
Take some pictures. What kind of club? What are you doing?
Karaoke.
No.
Yes.
Can you get somebody to videotape and put it on?
No.
And I said videotape, I know,
did.
but I'm also from the 80s. But you can't have someone to tape it and put it on or record it and post it?
If I tell you that it's not allowed, will you believe me?
No, is it not?
I don't know.
Is it a club or somebody's house? Or
it's a club. Mary's.
I don't know what that is.
It's a club.
Okay.
So we're going to go to Mary's tonight,
Okay.
and that's a club here in Atlanta, and we are going to sing karaoke.
Is that the place in the East Village?
Yes.
Oh, did they close and move, or did that? No, the one next to them closed and move. Okay. All right. I feel like you should. I do feel like that you should.
I may not even get up and sing. My friends
wouldn't
will
do that.
for sure, but I don't know that I will.
I think you should, just for the show. I feel like
you want me to make a fool of myself in front of a group of people.
What would you
some
sing?
of which
If
are
you
my
could-
friends.
If you could choose a song, what would you choose
to
to do karaoke?
Tequila.
Da-dun-da-da-dun. That's because there's no voice in it.
Exactly.
That's ridiculous.
You're brilliant.
You can't do it. I think you should have to play the trumpet part with your butt if you're not singing.
I can't do that.
I think that you should have a trumpet and
that
play
sounds
with your butt.
uncomfortable.
It also sounds like something I wouldn't want to be there while it's happening.
No, you wouldn't.
All
Because
right, well-
accidents can happen.
Yeah. So how's this working? I mean, is it a date or are you just going out with friends? You
No, it's just
hang-
friends.
Yeah.
It's just neighbors and
But
friends.
you might find a date. Could. If you're karaoke, especially,
That's
somebody would be like,
right.
I gotta meet that person.
Maybe I'll sing Wind Beneath My Wings and bring someone to tears.
Proud Mary, you could do that. 'Cause
No,
you're
I
gonna be at
couldn't.
Mary's. So you
I
could
can't do Proud Mary.
Okay.
Good people come to this club and sing.
I don't know. That's what karaoke is all about, is bad singing, though. It's not
Yeah.
all. It doesn't all have to be good. Although I admit I wouldn't do it. I don't think I would do it.
I've done karaoke once.
If I got really drunk, I would do it.
I might.
Okay. I almost said it out loud, but now I'm thinking. I was just like, we should get drunk and do a duo.
Oh, God, no.
And we should record that and post it. But then I've decided I'm not going to say that.
You just did, though.
I'm not going to say it out loud.
It's not possible to get you drunk enough to do
No.
something silly
No.
before you fall asleep.
That's probably true now.
Because as soon as you get drunk enough to go silly, you also go tired.
So, like today, I was drinking the remainder. Last week we did the Dragon's Milk White. Was that last week or 2 weeks ago?
Before.
2 weeks ago, and I had another one in the refrigerator, and I drank it. And it must be high alcohol content. And I didn't have any breakfast, and I was buzzing after that. I might have done some karaoke there. I did a little karaoke with my wife.
Yes, you did.
Heck yeah.
Heck yeah.
But I think a little bit of that I might do it. This beer is 9.5%.
Correct.
So.
Yep. And your wife did show you that in the refrigerator.
Another one
was yet another Dragon's Milk White.
I've decided that might be my favorite, just casual drinking beer. It's got nice flavor. It's not overwhelming. It would complement a lot of things. It's just got a good taste.
You guys, it was super cute because Rick went and to pour or to rinse out his beer glass after he drank his beer, and his wife says to him, "I have a surprise for you," and he's like, "What? What is it? Did you clean the refrigerator?"
Yeah.
And she goes, "Well, no," and then she pointed at it in the refrigerator, and he got very excited. Rick said, "Ooh, there's another one." It was very cute.
What? I have a question. What do you do? Let's say you have a friend who is an artist, and I don't mean me. I'm not talking about me. Let's exclude me.
You're excluded. How does it feel?
And this is hypothetical too. It doesn't even have to be somebody, a real friend or whatever.
Okay.
What would you do if your friend is just like, "I want you to go look at my art page. I'm making a bunch of art. I'm going to try to sell it. I've got a big art career now. I want you to go look at my art Instagram. Go look at my stuff." And you're like, "Oh, cool, okay." And then you go look, and then you realize that their art really, really, really sucks.
Okay.
What do you do? How do you handle that? And they come back, they're like, "Did you see it? What did you think? Is there anything you want to buy? What do you think?" What would you do?
Well, since art is subjective, not everybody is going to like everybody's art.
Right.
So, I mean, I think I would be honest with my friend and say, it's not really my style. It's not for me. I don't.
Bitch. That's what they would say.
But I'm not a bitch.
That's what they would say. You just heard an artist's feeling. They're like, maybe not everybody feels that way, but I do. You're a bitch.
Okay, then.
That's what they would say.
Well, I'll be honest with you right now. There's some of your stuff that you do that I don't really care for.
You would tell me you don't care if you hurt my feelings.
I do too.
No, you don't.
I do too.
No, you don't. If you thought something was a piece of shit, you wouldn't soften it at all. You would just be like, "Well, that's a piece of shit."
If it was a piece of shit.
Yeah.
But none of your work is a piece of shit. It's just not. Some of it all kind of looks the same. And then some of it is just not for me. Like, I wouldn't hang that in my house.
But you have bad taste in art.
No, I do not.
You do.
You're one of my favorite artists.
I come right out and say you have bad taste, and you say that I have bad art. But the realization is, and I know as an artist, that a few things. First of all, as an artist, sometimes I create something that I know is going to have a bad reaction, or I know is ugly, and it's part of the art. The statement you're making is ugliness.
Right.
But I also know that there's a style of certain art that I have that's probably not your favorite. I understand that. And I don't really care. I'm not necessarily, I'm not making all of my art for you.
Oh, God, no.
And I'm not making all of my art for everyone. I'm making art for whoever thinks it's cool, whoever likes it.
Absolutely.
And that's one reason why I don't like clicking into a certain style. I don't want my art to look like the same thing. I don't look like I'm making the same piece of art over and over and over, because somebody might not like this, but they might like this.
Exactly.
So I kind of branch out and do something that hopefully appeals to everyone.
That you're able to do different styles makes that possible.
I think all artists are able to do different styles. They just a lot of times don't want to. It's a safe thing to stay in a zone where everybody's just like, "That's awesome. I love those flowers."
Yeah.
And
then all you do is flowers.
Yeah, and so you just keep making flowers. And I'm not going to say there's anything wrong with that. Just that's what they decide to do.
There are several artists who are famous for their flowers.
Yeah.
Yes. So you could be famous in multiple realms. You could have your your airbrush art up, and people can say, "This is my favorite airbrush artist," and then they can look at some other art and not know it's yours and be like, "Who's that hack?" Yeah. Because they don't know that it's all you.
Would you ever just say, "I'm sorry, I just have to tell you that's horrible. Your art is bad. It sucks."
No, because again, art is subjective.
But sometimes it's bad.
But if I think it's bad, somebody else might think it's a brilliant piece of artwork.
Yeah.
Like my coworker of mine, his wife has a PhD in art, something, and they met when they were in college. And some of her pieces from college still hang in the house. He doesn't get it, like, at all. He doesn't understand art in any way, shape, or form, and he doesn't even try to, really. I mean, he can appreciate it if it's something that appeals to him because, I don't know, maybe it's blue, something like that, but he doesn't really get into it, and he has no interest in getting into it. Well, but the reason that he can't appreciate her art is because it's her art.
Really?
Yeah. So
That's weird.
He took her, they used to go to museums and stuff when they were in college, and they went to a museum. They walked up to this gigantic canvas, and it was, I can't remember the artist, but I knew what he was talking about when he told me. It was this huge blue canvas. And that's all it was, just a blue canvas.
Okay.
And she was going into detail about how amazing it was and how, how impactful it was and all of this. And he literally in the museum, he turned around and he goes, "Are you fucking kidding me?" Like, he didn't get it at all. But apparently this artist was the first person to make a gigantic blue canvas.
Well, there's been artists that have done that with white canvases and things like that. And a lot of art is because someone was the first to do it.
Exactly.
And sometimes, for instance, one of my favorite artists is Jackson Pollock, but a lot of people look at that and just go, "It's just paint spilled everywhere. I can do that."
But it's not.
But the reality is, I've seen a lot of people try to do it, and they don't come anywhere close to that.
No, they do not.
And not only that, but it is because he was the first to do it that it has a certain kind of meaning to it. The Beatles, I listen to the Beatles songs right now. I'm just like, really? That simple? They're the greatest? Really? Are you sure? That's just regular pop stuff? Well, they kind of perfected that style, and now people have
emulated it.
Yeah, and done better, but they were the first.
Right.
They weren't the first rock band, but I mean, what they were doing and that type of stuff, they were kind of the best at. But still, I guess for me, wondering how would you tell someone, not that just that's good art, it just doesn't appeal to me, but it sucks, it's horrible. How do you tell somebody, and would you just let it go?
I would not. And again, it's because it's just an opinion.
Yeah.
That's all it is. And if they ask my personal opinion about their artwork, like, "I'm going to give you a piece of art. Which one would you like to hang in your house? Because I want it prominent in the house so that every time I come over, I see it." And I have to tell them, "No, I won't hang your art in my house because I don't like it."
Yeah.
I suppose I would just say, it's really not my style. I mean, I keep coming back to that, but it's true because my opinion is that's not something I want to hang in my house.
Yeah. Back in the 80s when I was doing stand-up comedy, I was talking to another comedian who was much more successful than I was, especially at the time. And I was talking about how occasionally people who were starting out comedy would give you comedy tapes to listen to. They'd be like, "Hey, listen to my tape. Tell me what you think." And you'd listen to it and be like, "That's horrible.
Yeah.
It's not even funny.
Right.
It's just terrible."
I never even cracked a smile.
Yeah. And but it's just, the way the jokes are written and the structure and all, it's just terrible. And you always think, do you think that's funny? But, and I remember telling him, I just said, I always try to be encouraging. And he said, "Oh, I don't. I always just say, quit. That's not funny. You don't need to be doing this." He's like, "I don't want to encourage them." But I thought, there was a time when he sucked.
Yeah.
There was a time when I sucked. Most of the time I sucked. But you need encouragement. That's part of being an artist, is getting better.
But you also don't want to be lied to.
No, but I mean, I've read stories where people like George Carlin listened and said, "That's pretty good. You need to work on this. You need to work on that."
Sure.
But he could have said, "You suck." And certainly compared to Carlin, everyone sucked.
Yeah, that's true.
So I just think there's a couple of approaches that you could do. Is you could pull out some things that are nice and go, nice color, maybe you have good composition, or maybe you should try looking into doing some portraits or whatever.
Maybe you should completely change your style,
but
then possibly go to school.
I guess the difference is, if someone is starting out as an artist and they're just like, "I'm an amateur, I just started, give me some feedback," that's one
different.
thing.
That's
but if
totally
somebody's
different.
like, "I've been an artist for 20 years, here's my work," and you're like, "Well, that really still blows," maybe you should consider another career.
Are you actually making money at this? Is what I don't
make money at it.
That's true. But you do. You've been a working artist
Sometimes I'll make
for
money,
decades. So you were talking about comedy.
Yeah.
I have some jokes to share with you today.
You remember when I told you that guy said he would just tell them to get out of it?
Yes.
I think maybe that might be what I want to do.
I have 18.
No.
18
You can't
jokes.
tell 18 jokes.
I can.
No, you can't.
I can,
That's
and I will.
Wrong.
And I'm going to.
I'm going to go downstairs and get a muffin.
Listen to my jokes.
Bye.
The first joke is, what did the pirate say when he turned 80? Aye, matey. That's funny, right?
Why is it funny? Why is that funny?
Because it's funny.
It's a bad pun. The whole thing behind. See, here's the thing. The whole thing behind bad dad jokes is they're bad jokes. They're bad puns that dads tell, and they became a thing because people are just like, oh, dad. All right. So
Okay.
you're telling me these jokes and you want me to laugh, but they hurt.
What did the janitor say when he jumped out of the closet?
Boo.
Supplies.
What is a janitor? He doesn't give you supplies. It's an office manager.
No, not
I would
office
say, what
supplies.
does see that? Now
Janitorial
that's
supplies.
funny. I would have laughed if you'd said, "What did the office manager
You're
say?"
lying. You're totally lying. Okay, how about this one?
18? Really?
Yes.
You've gotten past 2. We're gonna do 18.
What's the difference between a hippo and a zippo?
I can't. You just told me that one a few minutes ago, so I'm not going to answer it.
A hippo is really heavy, and a zippo is a little lighter.
See, that's clever. It's not necessarily funny, but it's clever.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so that's improvement, right?
Well, I don't know. Clever and funny, not the same thing.
What do you call...
Dad clever. You could call it dad clever.
Okay.
Not dad jokes. It's not a joke, really.
It is a joke. What do you call a dog that can do magic?
Rover the magician.
A labracadabrador. It's not stupid.
So stupid.
Why do you do this to me all the time? I don't even understand you. You don't encourage me at all. And you just got done saying that people require encouragement.
You're not reading these jokes for me. Because we got last week. Somebody sent you some jokes. You have people out there who are fans of your jokes.
Yes.
Well, that's who you're doing them for.
I'm doing them mostly for you because it bothers you. Now, this one will really get you.
They all get me, really.
What do you get when you cross a joke with a rhetorical question?
I don't know.
Get it? You don't even get it. Anyways, okay, moving on. Did you hear the one about the beat detective?
The beat detective?
Correct.
No.
He got to the root of every problem.
That's right. I did read that.
Yeah, see, these are good jokes. What type of magazine... Stop snoring. What type of magazines do cows read?
The Weekly World Moos.
Catalogs.
See, I thought mine, the Weekly World Moos. That's funny. That's reading material.
Catalogs.
Not all cattle are cattles.
Huh? This one you'll like. Why is Peter Pan always flying?
I don't know. I remember when I was in elementary school hearing the joke, "Why is Peter Pan green?" But I don't know the answer to yours.
So, why is Peter Pan always flying?
Uh-huh.
Because he never lands.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's not a good reaction.
Okay.
Why is Peter Pan green?
That's an elementary school joke. I remember you'd be green too if someone hit you in the Peter with a pan. That was the joke in elementary school.
And you laughed at that one.
Well, I was 8. That's funny as hell when you're 8.
How about this one? This one sounds like one you would tell.
Okay.
My wife told me I had to stop acting like a flamingo.
Uh-huh.
So I had to put my foot down.
Okay, here's the thing. Just read them off really quick. Don't 18 of them. Just read them off really quick.
Are you having a hard time?
I feel like we need a laugh track here.
Okay. All right. This is the last one. I will save you.
Thank God.
Why was the cookie lonely?
Because nobody would play with him. Nobody would play with him. See, that's a dad joke. Nobody, cookie dough. Nobody would play with him.
You're fucking up my joke.
Awesome. That's an awesome joke.
Why was the cookie so lonely?
I don't know.
Because he was a wafer so long.
Mine was funny. I think we should have a vote on whose joke was funnier. Nobody would play with him.
He was a wafer so long.
It's like a Kit Kat bar. All right, you did say that was the last one. I'm going to hold you to it.
I'm done.
You could save the other 9 for next week.
Jesus. Although we did hear from somebody, didn't we? Didn't they send us
Someone
some jokes?
sent you some jokes this week, and I don't know why, but he said it was like one of his favorite spots. He listens to it all the time. He's a big fan of your dad jokes.
And you don't know why?
No, what why would I know?
What,
I don't know.
What, like that surprises you?
Well, kind of, but I know people like different things, and I respect that.
Well, the listener who wrote in is J-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, so J-Man says, I can't help it. I love dad jokes. See, he's a kindred spirit. He says, did you hear the rumor about butter?
No.
Well, I'm going to spread it. Come on. That's good shit. 2 men walk into a bar.
Mm-hmm.
The third ducks. Really? That's all I'm getting from you?
I actually think I've heard that one. So.
I'm only familiar with 25 letters of the alphabet.
Oh, yeah?
I don't know why. Was that painful?
Okay, here's the deal. Let's just say, or you need to make a commitment here.
What's my commitment?
Pick you out a bunch of those jokes, go to a comedy club, stand up and read them, and see how soon you get booed off the stage.
It's all in the delivery.
It might be on the delivery, but I'm just telling you, you'll get booed off the stage. I'm sure of it.
But I'm cute, so maybe not.
I don't know.
I might make it 3 minutes.
You should try it.
I might make it through 3 minutes.
So last week, I mentioned that I would interpret people's dreams.
Yes.
You know how many we got?
0.
Nobody wanted me to interpret their dreams, and I don't understand that because
why.
I don't either. I feel like that it's something. It's kind of a look into your personality that maybe you're not aware of, and I could actually show you parts of yourself that I have on my computer. No, no.
Don't put those out there.
I can actually show you parts of yourself that maybe you're not aware of that can help you to grow, and that's why I made the offer. I'm not getting paid. It's nothing for me. But I'm going to say it again. Maybe people are shy, or maybe they just yet haven't had any great dreams. But when you do, send your dream. Tell us about the dream. thisepicdisaster@gmail.com. I will interpret your dream. Now, this week, as in last night, I had a dream. And I'm not going to talk about my dreams every show. I don't think we should, but this is an important one.
But we're both big dreamers.
Yeah, but this one kind of made me think about something. So in my dream, I'm going to die.
Okay.
So I was told, I can't remember now what it was about that I was going to die from, but I had some kind of disease, disorder, whatever.
Okay.
And they said, within, I don't know if a year or two, I don't know what it was, you're going to die. And it's going to be a long, painful death.
Fun.
So there's that. But the option came out in the dream that I could have this like injection. And when I got the injection, I would die 24 hours after I got the injection.
Okay.
So the choice basically was, would you die 24 hours after you get an injection, or would you go for 2 years, like painful death, whatever? And it's kind of, in some ways, it's euthanasia, but I'm just wondering.
So you had a would you rather dream?
It was sort of like that.
Okay.
So for you, if you knew that you were going to die either let's just say you knew you were going to die
Either way.
in a year.
I'm dying either way. Okay.
You're going to die in a year, and that year it's going to be long and painful, drawn out, or would you rather, if you could, have an injection that would bring the death much sooner, and you wouldn't have to suffer for a long period of time? So what happened in the dream, I chose I chose the injection. So
You did?
my wife gave it to me.
Okay.
And then we started the countdown. So we started doing some fun things. I started saying goodbye to my friends, and like friends came over, and I said, I mean, it was kind of silly and nonsense, but people came over. And what was weird, and I can't remember any of it now, but at the time, there was a lot of joking, and we joked about, it was a lot of gallows humor, joking about, it was really dark and very fun, and we were laughing and having a good time. And I don't know, there was something about it that was kind of fun. There was this sort of, I don't know, this impending, I'm going to die in a few hours because of this injection. But there was also something that was like, okay, it was sort of peaceful. It's like I knew it was going to happen, and I was like the big countdown.
And you could prepare without being in tremendous pain.
Yeah. So, what would you pick? If you could pick one, if you could do one.
Can I throw a variable at you?
Possibly, because the reality is you can pick those two.
Yes, you can. Yes, you
it
can.
does exist, I think.
Yes.
But which would you rather do?
Well, my variable is this. Do I have to have the injection that day?
I don't know the answer to that, because that's what I was thinking. I guess a lot of people would be like, as soon as I started feeling some of the pain, then I would do it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
All right.
I have no problem with assisted suicide in any way, shape, or form if it's going to save somebody their own personal pain. Now, some family members, when a family member chooses to go that route, some other family members feel slighted, or they feel like they've been cheated out of something. But my question to those family members, in all honesty, and if you knew that your beloved family member who chose to do this was going to spend the next 2 years in severe pain, being a burden on other people, and being emotional about it, and getting depressed, and whatever else might happen, do you still want them to stick around for you?
Yeah.
And is that fair?
I maybe it's a good time to, and I don't really like trigger warnings or just sensitive content warnings, but I do feel like that maybe if we're going to go down, if somebody's had some death happening or facing it themselves, it could be a sensitive discussion that we're going into. But
we might have wanted to say that a minute ago.
Possibly, but I mean, I'm just now thinking this is the direction I'm going to go down, because I'm trying to imagine, because I'm the kind of person, I love life. I like life. Dang it! Now we have to pay the royalties. But I don't know. I've never really considered suicide, not seriously anyway, and I don't know that. I don't know. It would take a lot for me to make a decision to go ahead and end it. Now, if I was in really, really severe pain, that might make it easier, especially if someone was saying there's no way it's going to change. You're always going to be that way. Maybe. I don't know. Well,
you hear it in movies all the time. The bad guy always says, "I'm going to torture you until you beg me for death," kind of thing.
All right.
A lot of people can handle more torture than other people.
I couldn't at all. As soon as they pull a toothpick out, I'm like, no, that's it. Just kill me. Go ahead. That's it. I can't do anymore. But I don't know. I feel like in that condition, I think I would just go until, and I'm also I'm a little bit stubborn.
A little bit.
I would be like, no, I'm not going to let my body tell me when I can live and when I can die. So I'm going to just keep going. Because I can survive this. I will turn this around. I will not die from this. That would be me.
That would be delusional.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like, it's only a flesh wound.
So
that would be me.
It's only a flesh wound.
Yeah. I just, cut all my limbs off, and I'm like, let's call it a draw. I would not, I just don't give up that easy, I don't think. So I think I would just keep going until, excuse me, if I was like really non-functional, I couldn't do anything. I was just in bed. It was just constant pain, and possibly I couldn't see, I couldn't hear, I couldn't have any joy. That would be the point when I would just say, okay, I think.
Yeah.
But
now here's why a lot of people have chosen assisted suicide as their route of choice, is because perhaps with this terminal disease that they have comes some sort of dementia or some
Yes.
sort of loss of ability to function.
Yeah.
And they don't want to get there. They don't want to be that person who can then no longer legally make that choice. I don't even know if it's legal anywhere anymore, but they can no longer even conceptually make that choice when they get that far. So they make the choice before they get there.
Sure.
And I understand that. That makes sense to me.
The stand your ground law that exists, like in states like Florida, where if you perceive a threat of someone, and you are allowed to stand your ground, and and in a lot of cases shoot someone and kill them. But that law there have been some people who have just really pushed the limits of that law and
Yes,
had to
they
go to
have.
court. And I think that's what happens in the assisted suicide thing. I think generally, as an idea, most people are like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. But there would be a lot of people that would push the limits of that, and it almost becomes legalized murder. And that would have to go, I don't know, you would have to challenge us. It's like, oh, I'm sorry, grandma, who's a millionaire and I'm in her will, wasn't feeling well and asked me to kill her, so I did. Boom, sorry.
Well, I think
let's get to the will.
I think the legality of assisted suicide requires that there be a medical professional
Yes.
present doing the actual euthanasia,
Yes.
as well as probably some prior psychological examination.
There are medical doctors who will put watermelons in your chest
That's true.
so you can do porn. They don't care. They don't have any scruples. They have no morals, and they just don't have any professional responsibility. So,
But you
I
have
guess,
to start somewhere.
Oh, I know. I mean, I'm saying it is, and I don't mean to get into politics, but it's the whole conservative liberal thing where liberals are really pushing governments, and the conservatives say, why does there have to be governments? I'm responsible. Yes, you are. You're not the one that we're worried about.
Right.
We're worried about the people just like, just let companies be responsible for themselves. You know what? Most companies will, but there are a lot of companies that will put sawdust in hot dogs and sell it to the people so they can make a lot of money. Those are the reasons why you have to do the laws.
Right.
You have to have that. So the assisted suicide, I think most people say, I could see where would be effective. I would see where it's needed. But I think the reason why the laws haven't been passed, it's for the abuse. And I don't know. I think maybe there's ways to set it up that are better, but and then just saying don't do it at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think though in the end, I don't know. I'm kind of like you. I think I would find a middle ground. But in my dream, I just did it. Like when I was feeling great.
You were just like, all right, let's
But
go
I'm
out on a
not
high note.
I'm not known for making wonderful, sane decisions. So,
Especially not in your dreams.
but people are coming over and saying goodbye, and so
I mean, and plus, if you just are like, okay, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and choose to do this today, now, in this moment, how do you get all your friends and family there within the next 24 hours?
Well, the people that I was saying goodbye to were just people who were showing up accidentally. They didn't even know I was dying. I just said, oh, by the way, I should tell you, I won't be here tomorrow.
Because you have so many people that just drop by your house.
All the time.
All the time.
Yeah, some of my friends. So anyway, I was just curious what you would do. I'm like you. I think I would wait until I started really feeling the effects.
So that you did have some time to actually really fully enjoy the rest of your good life.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that people who have terminal diseases have bad lives. I'm just saying that your doctor told you you're going to be in a lot of pain.
Yeah.
Until the end. So once that pain starts to kick in,
Right.
There's no going back. Now's the time.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, that's my personal choice.
Comedian Dennis Leary, I remember from one of his stand-up shows, he was talking about, they said smoking takes off 10 years of your life. And he's like, yeah, but those are the worst 10 years. They're the last 10 years. No one wants to live those.
No one wants those last 10
They
years.
get rid of the worst 10 years of your life. So why not? And obviously it's
Clearly, it's just
a
a joke.
But but I mean, it's kind of like that. It's just like go up to the point where, keep the injection. And then right when you start feeling the effects, it's like, okay, now I'm pulling the cord.
Now it's good.
Sure.
Let's do this.
All right, we didn't mean to hurt anybody's feelings or bring up some bad feelings. Where, as always, we like to find the humor in all situations, especially if they don't involve us.
I mean, I'm not dead. So.
Not yet.
Not yet.
You're slowly dying inside, though.
Yes, I am. Well,
we
I've
all
been
are.
dying inside my whole life, as has everybody.
Let me try to look. I'm looking here and see.
What are you looking at?
I'm making sure that we covered all of the things that I wanted to hear.
Did we skip a reader email the other day?
We did.
Should I go ahead
Didn't
and
you
read
just
it?
read that?
No. He sent us an additional email as well, and I don't know if I read this one or not.
I don't think you did. I don't think you did.
Okay, so if I have already read this is quick. You can hear it again. It's fine. So J-Man wrote to us prior to sending me those fabulous jokes that he sent me.
Okay.
He said, "Hey, my friends, I just wanted to say hey, and I have almost gotten caught up on episodes. And I wanted to tell Rick that when he went to Texas, remember when you went to Texas?
There was a few last month, yeah.
He passed within 2 miles of my house in
Holy crap.
Louisiana.
Wow.
You were walking distance from J-Man's house.
Yeah, huh.
He says, I live about halfway across the state on I-20. Would love to have a beer with you one day if you pass through again. So,
That'd be awesome.
That's an invitation.
Well, when I'm on those kind of business trips, I have no time to do anything. Even when I'm there, if I like the destination, I have no time. I've been like with close friends, close by. I just haven't been able to go see people.
Yep.
That's the way the business stuff is. But having said that, yeah, I'd love to have a beer. We've had people who have contacted us and said, you know, when you're in New York, whatever, come by and let's have a beer. Gary over in Annapolis. I get up there for the Maryland Renaissance Festival.
There you go.
Every year I want to do that, and then I haven't been up there in so long, but I got a beer date with Gary next time. Just I'll let him know we're going to go hang out.
We always have a beer date with Doug in a pub.
Oh yeah, Doug's had way too much beer with us. That's too much beer.
It's just too much beer, Doug.
But we have a lot of listeners, and you know, it'd be great, and that's what we should do. We should do like a cross-the-country tour and having beer with all of our listeners.
Who's going to fund that?
I don't know. That's a lot of beer, and I'm all for it. But the thing is, you know, when you're kind of in the neighborhood, and that's kind of why sometimes I like to tell where I'm going, because you never know when your fans. Like when I was doing Life in a Kill, everywhere I went, everybody was like, "Yeah, I'm going to be right there." And then I was just like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I can't see you. I'm going to be so busy. I don't even have time to hang out anywhere."
Right. You pull like 17, 18-hour days when you're on site.
The business stuff is insane. But when I'm driving, like on vacation or hanging out, anytime, if we're going to, you know, Carolina Ren Fair or up into Maryland or anywhere, just hanging out, I think it'd be great. I've been wanting to get to, all right, I'm going to tell you a secret.
Is it a secret?
Because my wife doesn't listen to our podcast. So that's the thing. I can say things here.
You can.
She never listens to it.
And she doesn't get mad.
So a couple of our friends had a secret date. So what happens is the dude, the husband, basically one day just said, all right, go pack your bags. Here's what you should take. I'm not telling you why. Just go do it. Put it in the car, and then we're going.
What, just like that?
And she had no idea, and he took her on a date. They went to a beach in, I think it was Georgia Beach. And they had a vacation, like a weekend vacation.
How nice.
So I'm thinking of doing that.
Are you?
And I can't do it like immediately.
No.
I might not be able to do it by the end of the year. But I want to do a secret date. And don't tell my wife, but I just want to say, get some stuff together. We're going somewhere. I'm going to take you on a secret date. And then I want to take her to New Orleans.
Ooh.
Wouldn't that be fun?
That would be fun.
I'd love to do it during Mardi Gras, but I don't know. Some people say that wouldn't be cool.
Well, it's so busy and packed, you don't really get to enjoy the city, is my understanding.
Maybe, but I think she's been there many times. But I mean, it would be kind of fun.
It would be fun.
So I'm thinking of doing that, doing a little secret New Orleans trip.
How fun.
Say, pack it up, put on some feather masks. Yeah.
Yeah.
A little kinky stuff.
And that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not into that, but
nothing else.
New Orleans, you know.
You don't know.
You can find it.
Your wife could get all the beads.
Yeah.
All the beads.
I'll give all of them to her.
Oh, God.
Yeah, that'll be fun. So I might do that. Little secret trip.
Let us know if you do.
Yeah, don't tell her. Don't anybody out there tell her. But if you are in the New Orleans area when we come down there,
have a beer.
We'll have a beer.
There you go.
Just let us know. We'll meet and have a beer. I'm trying to think if I know anybody in the New Orleans area.
Well, I have a friend who she and I are
You're seals.
Suddenly, I just became a seal.
A little walrus in the studio.
We are trying to tentatively plan something where she, who lives in Texas, drives to New Orleans. I fly to New Orleans, and then she and I drive the rest of the way to Atlanta.
Well, that's only like a 4-hour drive, isn't it?
Yeah.
6, somewhere in there.
So we'd hang out in New Orleans for a night or two, and
That's
then
cool.
drive the rest of the way to Atlanta. And then I guess she would fly back from there.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, so mini road trip.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, if you can't go to your friends, bring your friends here.
Bring your friends here. That's right.
I don't know. Do we have any Atlanta listeners? That's a weird thing. Have you ever thought about that? Because I'm just now thinking of it the first time.
Tell you what, we're about to have a whole shit ton of Atlanta listeners, and here's why. Because this weekend, Labor Day weekend, is Dragon Con, which is a huge convention for all things geek and nerdy here in Atlanta that happens every year. And last year's turnout was 90-something thousand people, and they expect more this year because they've made Thursday an official Dragon Con day, which it used to not be. There was some fun and parties and games and things, but it wasn't official programming for Dragon Con. But now it is. So Dragon Con now goes Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So it's a 5-day convention. And I have a lot of friends there. One of our friends there is our listener, Donnie.
Yeah.
Who is our sticker man.
Yeah.
Because we give him shit tons of stickers, and he puts them on everything.
Then that's a good thing.
So that's what he's doing at Dragon Con this weekend.
And if you're a listener and you listen for the first time after Dragon Con, you saw a sticker, welcome, and let us know, because we want to know if that's working.
I do want to know.
But I'm curious if people out in Atlanta, because, we live here in Atlanta. I don't hear from a lot of people in Atlanta, but let us know if you're an Atlanta listener, because it's just, I don't know. Let us know where you're from. Who's out there listening?
We don't even know who you are.
We don't know who you are.
Unless
we don't know where you're from. Just post it on Facebook. Just say, hi, I'm John, and I live in Texas.
We promise we won't sell your information.
No. Who would we sell it to?
The Russians.
We only use it for ourselves. But yeah, I'm curious. I don't know.
Same. Very curious.
We don't even know if people actually listen to this.
I don't think they do.
I don't either. I'm beginning to think maybe not.
I think it's just us.
Yeah, we have a few friends who say they do.
Right.
And so they occasionally will mention something to say that maybe they do.
So it's like they turned it on for a second, and they take that little tidbit of information just to come up and say, hey, Cheri, that was funny when Rick said blah, blah, blah. Okay, bye.
Yeah. Have a beer with me when you come down here, and please pay for it. See, they're just trying to get free beer. That's what it is.
That's what it is.
Speaking of beer, we should talk about this little beer.
Let's do that.
That we're having. What do you think?
So, Sour Monkey by Victory Brewing Company. It is a sour Brett triple. It is 9.5% alcohol, and it's one of my favorite sours.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I've drank this for a couple of years now.
I've never had it. I do like it. Giving it a 4. Giving it the big 4.
I'm going to give it a 4.5.
Wow, you're going the extreme there. It's good. It's not overbearing. It's just sour enough. It doesn't have a lot of extra obnoxious flavors in there. It's,
right.
I wouldn't say smooth, but it's just got a very nice taste, non-bitter, but it's consistently sour, not overly sour, not underly sour. We've had some sours that weren't sour enough.
At all, yeah.
A couple that were too sour, but this is just right there in the middle and perfect. And so,
perfect.
Yeah. Where is Victory from? What city?
So Victory Brewing Company, Victory... Where is it at? Come on. In Pennsylvania, Downingtown or Downington, Pennsylvania. Right. And they are, they want us to taste victory responsibly.
Well, they have a thing, Golden Monkey. We've had that beer. Maybe that's what you're thinking of. We have had Golden Monkey.
I've had Golden Monkey a couple of times.
I think it's the first time we've had the sour, and they're doing something right up in Pennsylvania.
Yes, they are.
Get you some monkey. Go get the monkey. Don't spank it, though.
Why not?
Hey,
I have screaming monkeys at my desk that I spank all the time.
Oh, no. I don't even want to know where you work. All right, people, thank you for listening to this Epic Disaster podcast. Please stay in touch with us. Let us know where you're from. Where do you listen to the show? I don't know. I don't know where you're from. Some people we know. Some people we have been with us all the way since our early days with Life to Kill podcast and interacted with us. And we know if you're looking for a way to interact with us, guess what? We're doing a Halloween show. All you have to do is write a Halloween story, scary story. We're allowing poetry in this one this year. If you want to write a poem, if you want to write anything, I don't really care.
I got a question from a listener who said, does it have to be like scary or can it just be Halloween-y? And I said Halloween-y is fine.
We like horror stuff. We like scary stuff, but that's very subjective. It's something to kind of increase the festivities of Halloween.
Absolutely.
And there's no real topics, I guess. When we were doing this, we did this for 2 or 3 years with Life to Kill podcast, and you had to have a kilt involved. This one does not. It could be kind of anything. It's just open. Next year we might put some limitations on it. I don't know, but right now just be scary, be fun, scary. We're trying to stay away from too gory. We're trying to stay away from too adult.
Yes.
Although it can have qualities of both.
And keep it around 5 minutes or less.
5, 10. If it's really good, you can go to 15. Whatever
Really?
you want to do. Sure,
Okay.
whatever.
All right. Good times. So write your stories. Email us and let us know you are writing a story so that we can plan, because we're going to have to record these. And then we'll give you a deadline when we have to have it by on our next podcast.
Yeah.
We'll make that decision between now and then.
Also, if you're not going to be at Dragon Con, you would like stickers, as always, all you have to do is just send us an email and say, send me stickers, and then send us a mailing address. We'll send you stickers, and then that's it. We don't do anything else. You'll never hear from us again.
I don't remember if I said this on the podcast, but when Jax put together our live beer review list that is on our website now, you can find it there. I did say that I would buy him a T-shirt that will be forthcoming.
You got to do it now.
All I need to
Put
do
your money
is
where your mouth is.
I need Jax to send me an email with his preferred shirt size, and then I will buy him a T-shirt.
And that'll be a great thing. For those of you who did not win a T-shirt, I am sorry. However, we do have T-shirts available on our website, thisepicdisaster.com. If you go there, you'll get linked up to the store. We have cartoon shirts of us that our friend made, and we have logo shirts. We have other kinds of shirts. I don't remember what else is there. But those, we make very little, if anything, off of those. Barely support us. It's mostly just for you guys. And we'd love for you to wear our shirts.
Absolutely.
I'd love it if we wore shirts.
Might get 1 or 2 listeners out of it. You never know.
Is that it? Is that all we need to talk about?
That's it. It's time to say goodbye.
Yeah, we're on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. We're going to be doing more YouTube videos. We talked about that.
We did. We made a plan. We're going to start posting some things together and separately on YouTube.
Separately, and we're going to try to start filling up our YouTube channel more. If you have more suggestions, things you want to see, things you want to hear, guests that you might want us to talk to, because we do need more of that too.
Yes.
Please, thisepicdisaster@gmail.com, or you can Facebook instant message to us. Other than that, we hang out there and we hang out here, and we just like for you guys listening to us.
And we like for you to hang out with us.
Okay, so we'll talk to you next Monday, and until then, have a good day and take care of yourself. And I would say go right up until the point when you start feeling bad.
And then take the injection.
Take the injection. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. This is a Violet Jester Media podcast.